All right, so here goes. This is my testimony for Papa Hector. Some of this I'm reading. I'm not very good with like speaking like in this way, so I had to write some stuff down. Um, so basically, I'm a middle-aged man living in the Midwest. When I was young, I followed a girl to New Jersey, and I ended up married there with kids and divorced at 32. And it was awful from start to finish, aside from being a father. And the severity of that marriage and divorce was way beyond normal dysfunctional bad marriage and divorce. It caused me to go looking for meaning. So what I was trying to find when I met Papa Hector was just meaning. I wasn't looking for money. I wasn't looking for another woman or anything material. I just kind of wanted a whole bunch of bad luck. Just kind of wanted me to figure out like what the hell's going on. So I wanted to understand why all this happened in a larger sense, what's actually happening in the world. And I'd never been to a psychic or spiritual worker or anything like that. And the way I met Papa Hector was actually we were going to church together. We used to go to the same church about 10 years ago, and he and his family would sit in front of me. So we became friends, and after a while he told me and a couple other friends of mine there that he was a medium and gave classes on spirituality. So me and the other people, we from that church thought that was pretty interesting, and he was just a genuinely really nice person. So we started going to his services and taking classes. And that was where I started learning a foundation of how the world really works. And interestingly, eventually that church that we met at fell apart due to gossiping and infighting. So that story with that. And long story short, the spirits decided they wanted me to be initiated in 21 divisions after knowing Papa and going to his services and classes for a few years. And that was almost 7 years ago. And I can only speak for myself when I say this has been a nightmare, truly a nightmare, turned into the best thing that's ever happened to me. 10 years ago, I was an alcoholic and just not happy, out of control. I had PTSD from my childhood, my marriage and divorce, and I had a ton of anger issues. After my initiation, and it took several years, my life was rebuilt with the life I'm supposed to be living and with an ongoing relationship with God, the God and the mysteries helped along by my godfather. So here's what I know about Papa. Papa lives what he speaks, and I've known him 10 years, and he speaks with power because he lives it. He also will speak to you on your level. How he talks to me is going to be different than how he talks to someone else. He's also a really powerful teacher, and I'm honored to be a student and a godchild of his. I mainly take classes. I've only gotten 2 formal readings in 10 years of knowing him. So the readings and all that kind of stuff, it's important, and when you need it, but you probably need consultations, and then he can guide you from there. I've gotten several consultations, and most, if not all, the work he has done for me is to help me with dealing with the mysteries. And I think if you want something resolved or spell work, he can for sure do that for you. But there is a huge well of learning and enlightenment voodoo and the other religions he's trained and initiated and can give you. I personally believe Papa is out here at this time and place to help people who are connected to these traditions but were born estranged from access to it. I would be in a way bigger mess than I am now if I hadn't met him. And he and I were friends, but he's really a relative now. I accord him the same fear and respect I give to the Loa, and I view him like a mystery or one of my grandparents. And that extends to the Mambos and any other member of the house that runs the house beyond me. And I only speak to him a handful of times a year, and usually concerning how I can be of service. So this really is a lifelong commitment. If you get involved in this, you got to understand this is going to be your whole life if you do it correctly. What he taught me early on was manners is super, super important. Please and thank you and all that, and manners and no gossip and just staying away from bad talking other people and no gossip and stay out of other people's business. And in voodoo, you pay for everything. I don't ever speak to Papa about these topics free or casually. If you're not prepared to sacrifice something, you should look elsewhere. I'll occasionally email or text him if I'm going to be visiting in the area or if I'm given useful information from the spirits, but I don't engage in idle talk with him. So that's it. And thanks for listening, and don't play games with any of this stuff, because it's real and you can do some serious harm to yourself and others if you're arrogant enough to think you don't need a teacher. So thank you.